Hello, hello, everybody. My name is Chantele Francis with Realness, and this is my co-host,
Michael Pez. How are you, everybody? Good to see you.
We are here to recap, review, Ruview, episode 6 of season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race, the best show on television. Sorry, John.
It is actually the best show on television. It's got to be one of the best reality shows ever because there's just so many levels to it. It's funny and hilarious. Mm-hmm. It really shows the progression of being gay in today's society. Mm-hmm. It also doesn't, I find that it doesn't be too serious. Like, it's men in dresses, and it's creative.
Yeah, it has pretty much everything that you need. There's usually a little bit of shade and drama. There's a little bit of fashion and a little bit of like gorgeousness. There's a little bit of innovation and style. There's a competitive energy. There's, the competition of itself. There's RuPaul and there's the guest panel. Like, they're always really funny. Like, you get the humor. So I feel like it ticks all the boxes. Like, knowing food, you're supposed to like every single food that you eat is supposed to hit all the 5 different taste buds in your mouth. Well, I feel like this show hits all of the taste buds.
Yeah, it does. It honestly does. Like, there's just so many people that I know that like say, "Oh yeah, I watched that show. Yeah, I see that on Netflix. It's good. It's funny. It's great." My girlfriend watches that show, and it's some straight guy saying it's funny. I like it.
Right? But it started off with poor Monet. I love her, but she hasn't been bringing it, and like she's really disheartened by the fact that she's been in the bottom 2 weeks in a row. And like, yes, she's saved herself, but she has been in the bottom. And
they even said like even some of the New York queens are like, Monet is really funny. Her comedy's really funny, but she's just is not nailing it half the time. And also say with her looks, half the time she's not nailing them. Asia says it perfectly. She goes, if you don't nail it, and all of a sudden your outfit's not the best, you're going to be going home if you're in the bottom 2.
Absolutely. And I don't know who said it, but someone's like, don't worry, you'll buy a new one with an accurate cut.
All of them.
That's what I was thinking anyways. And she's like, all right, brown cow. Oh, so it must have been Monique.
Yeah, it was Monique, because Monique's like, this is a cow. They're like, that is giraffe. That is a giraffe print. Yeah.
So Miss Cracker feels like she's kind of always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And I can see where she's coming from in that sense. Like, she's a lot of the times the runner-up or very in the top looks, but she never actually wins the top prize of being like the winner of that week. And you know what, though? I can understand why, because she's kind of like just quite good, but she's never really wow. Like, she's just quite good.
There's always someone that's outshining her just that little bit.
Yeah.
In all those challenges. And I don't know if that's going to be, obviously that foreshadows this episode right now, but is this going to foreshadow like later on, because she still is not nailing it. She better nail it for next episode, because it is Snatch Game next episode.
Well, and everybody's going to be looking at her. She better be effing funny. Like,
yes.
Because I guess for some reason, like, I guess because she's coming out as a comedy queen, she has this whole thing with Aquaria, and like, she's almost funny most of the time, but she needs to really nail it, I think, if she wants to be considered a contender, and for her to be like, people to start really looking at her as like someone that could potentially win. Like, right now she's like, oh, she's very good.
Yeah.
No, but it was funny.
Yeah, like that's how I feel. I'm like, she's great.
She's good.
Yeah.
I don't like, for some reason, I just don't like her look and her vibe. I don't know if it's her height that bothers me or that blonde wig that bothers me. There's something about her, like, what she doesn't, I don't care for it for some reason.
She's very flase-da.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just like, she hasn't wowed me enough to be on her bandwagon, to be fair.
Sure.
So Asia thinks that Monet's drag is a bit hit or miss, which is really true. And like, I think that because Monet has always relied on her comedy and like, you know, the people that go to see her at her shows, like they know what she's like, know what she's all about, know what they can expect from her, that she thought that that was going to be enough to get her through in this competition show. And she's realizing that her drag is actually really mediocre. Poor girl. I don't know who said this. I think Monet says it, but like, your back is ashy and that's not cute. I think she says that to Asia.
She says that to Asia and she goes, well, yeah, your talent's in the bottom too. So
I was like, I actually laughed out loud. I was like, and I love though the fact that Monet doesn't get all like the vixen about it. You know what I mean? She's like, man, that's
I know. Like, I'm in the bottom too. She's in the bottom too. She's like, she can't take it so seriously. Like, you can't go on RuPaul's Drag Race and be like, oh, I'm going away. And like, yes, you have the
drive.
The drive for it, have all that, but don't get so butthurt if you don't. Okay, like,
exactly.
Like, enjoy the time that you're there. Throw shade when you need to throw shade. Do your thing, but just like, don't be a fuck up. Just don't fuck it up.
But how do you feel about Monique's laugh?
Well, it's funny because then later, what's her face? Cracker's like, that should be the laugh going in and out of commercial, and then they did it, and then they did do it. Like the actual show did put it in there. It's funny.
It's really funny. It's so deep and like. It kind of reminds me, I don't know if it's too soon or not, but of Bill Cosby's laugh, like how iconic it is, you know?
Too soon. I'm just kidding. It's not. No, it's not too soon. Bill Cosby is Bill Cosby, and I'll always love Bill Cosby. Unfortunately, Bill Cosby did some terrible, terrible things.
When, I mean, it's a little aside, but when it was okay for men to do those types of things. Not saying that it was right for him to do that, but it was quote unquote allowed. And that's how people were allowed to be treated. I don't know. I haven't listened to all the accounts. I don't know if it was violent or I don't know all the circumstances. So this is coming from a very outsider perspective. But I know for a fact, as a woman that's worked in this industry for many years, that some of the things were just what you expected in Hollywood. And now that the moral compass has changed and the climate on how women are supposed to be respected in the industry, now he's having to come to trial basically for his past sins, which were not necessarily considered sins back then. Sucks. Okay. But
I will have to say that it's an unfortunate shame, because the Cosby Show when I was a kid was so freaking funny.
So good.
One of the funniest shows I think I've ever watched in my whole life. And if you ever watch that on shrooms, holy shit, it's funny.
That might terrify me, actually. I just get
now it will. All right, going back to the show.
So the first mini challenge was this was a new one. I don't think she's done this one before, but it's called Sitting on a Secret.
I don't know how much. I would have to go off by sound to like if I was sitting on something, but like I don't know. Some of the things, like, I don't understand how they were sitting on a fax machine and figured out it was a fax machine.
Well, what else would it be?
I don't know. I guess. I don't know. I've never really sat on a fax machine.
Well, maybe we should do this as like a challenge. Maybe
right.
Let me do a thing together. I'm gonna blindfold you, and I'm gonna give you things to sit on.
Sure. We'll do it. We'll do it in a second. Are you kidding me?
Maybe on Thursday after we go see Big Brother.
Okay.
We'll just do like a little segment, and then we'll add it in somewhere.
Well, yeah. Like I have lawn chairs. I can sit in something, but make sure that they are pants that I can easily ruin. I don't know.
I'm not going to put cake underneath.
You're not going to make me sit on a cake? Oh, worst. I love cake.
So they're blindfolded and they have to identify these mystery items by sitting on it. So the first one was a fax machine. The second one was an eggplant, you dirty bird, Brew. Then it was a traffic cone. Like, just who thought of these things? So funny. We got a bag of chips, pork chop, marshmallows, a fish, and cake.
And a cake.
Cake.
I just like when Miss Cracker was like, "Oh, it's flat and cold," just like aquarium.
It was from an aquarium, but the fish.
Yeah.
Flat and cold. Oh, is this Aquaria?
This is Aquaria. Okay, so winner of the mini challenge was
Asia
O'Hara.
Yes, she guessed the most number of objects correctly. So I'm proud that she has a very sensitive ass that allows her to be able to quickly identify random objects with her buttocks.
Congratulations. That goes into talent on charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Absolutely, and it's going to be probably maybe a special skill now on her resume on
oh God.
on IMDb or.
Do you have a special skill on your acting resume?
I drive standard. I can do a British accent. I
used to say that I could stick a pop can to my forehead.
But now, are you going to change it now to the dildo that we got from?
No, because that actually had a suction cup out of here. Hold on. So, like, what I would do when I was a kid was I always had a big forehead to begin with, so I would always get a pop can, and then I would just take it, and then I would just make it stick.
Why do you know how to do that?
I just know how to do that. It's like my bar flare.
I can flip my eyelids. I can do this.
Oh, I can do that.
Or the bowl.
I can do that.
And you can do it both sides.
I can do that, but I couldn't do this one.
I couldn't do this side.
And I can just wiggle my ears as well.
I can't raise an eyebrow. Oh, this is pretty good. Hold on. Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I think I can do that.
Sort of.
Well, sort of. But anyway, friends, that's what we can do. What can you do? Please type below.
I can blow split bubbles off my tongue.
Ew.
I do sometimes when I'm like not thinking about it. I was like, oh, this is so disgusting. But it's not the right consistency right now, but it's something like. Anyways, I get the spit bubble and then I'll blow it off and it'll be like.
Look at my face. My face like.
I think I got like 50 in a row once. I think that's my. I'm gonna try to do one before the end of this podcast.
Okay, cool. So Asia O'Hara, she wins the little mini challenge, and then they have to
the points right away.
So what's that?
Are we doing our points right away?
We can do points right away. It's like I'm at this point with this show. Okay, so we have also a Survivor one where we go off of Ghost Island 36. I'm clearly going to win this season unless it's like some miraculous thing happens. But this season, I have 2 people left after this episode.
Oh, really? It's that bad for you?
I have 2 episodes. I have 2 people left.
Oh, so like you're.
Luckily, they're great and they're rumored to be in the final 4. But like, come on.
You know how I feel.
I know how you feel. But
we're closer together.
So basically, they get their mini max challenge. The max challenge is for DragCon.
Wait, so how many points does each get?
How much for the mini challenge?
5 or 10?
Mini challenge is 10 points.
Yeah, it is 10 points.
And then max challenge is 15.
Gotcha.
So they have to go to RuPaul's DragCon, which is this thing that happens every year. A lot of the drag queens in Toronto go to DragCon. They got a group together and they go down to LA, and it's just basically like fan expo for drag queens, but you can also like learn stuff. They'll have like seminars, and so basically their max challenge is in groups of 3. You were either given the body, a body seminar, a wig seminar, or a makeup seminar. And basically they all try to pair up, but Monet's like, no one's going to pair up with me because I'm a loser and I've been in the bottom 2 the whole time. And Cameron's like, no one's going to pick me because I don't talk to anybody. So what happens? They pair up. And Eureka's like,
well, actually, they didn't pair up. They were just standing beside each other, not doing anything. And Eureka walked over to them and was like,
yeah.
Body.
Body? I'll do body. Yeah, let's do body.
But it actually really worked out with with Cameron being all muscly. And Monique is pretty curvaceous little thing. And obviously
Eureka is a big girl. So like I already could kind of see when I was watching it at work, because I was working that shift. I was like, I kind of could already see who was going to win this. Like if it was well done and they were able to speak perfectly at this thing and actually get their point across, that's what Ru wants. Ru wants to hire somebody as like the reigning drag queen title, because they want someone to like actually go forward and teach the youth or teach other drag queens.
Well, exactly. Be like a really good spokesperson and like
represent,
hold their own and deal with questions from the audience and, support a product and be the brand of RuPaul's Drag Race. And so it definitely was a great competition to be able to see who the cream rises to the top here in this challenge.
Yeah, and like this guy that was sitting at my work and sitting in front of me, he was just like, this episode is so boring. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? This episode is fantastic. Because I'm sitting there, I know things about drag queens and like padding and stuff, but I didn't know stuff about like makeup, and I didn't know how to do, like, I always look for the hairline on a wig, always. Mm-hmm. And I was actually sitting there listening, and this guy that was sitting there was like, oh, this episode's so boring. It's not even funny. Like, blah, blah, blah. It's not supposed to be funny, dude. Like, the whole point of this show is to teach people how to, like, maybe actually do their wigs and show that the creative process, like, they take hot Bryce. Oh, God. I love Bryce so much. But they bring Bryce on the stage, and they actually made him into a full-ass woman using the paddings. And, like, they sat down, and, like, Cameron, Monet, and Eureka really worked well off each other.
Absolutely. And
because they listen to each other.
Mm-hmm. And so they had to do a panel discussion, a demo, and then be prepared to answer questions from the audience. And so it was a live audience as well. So it's like they had to be able to think quickly on their feet and stick with the brand and just not fluster. They only had one shot at it. So I thought it was a really great way to test these queens for sure. What was I gonna say? Forgot. It lost me.
But then, so they do really, really well, those three. And then it goes into the makeup tutorial.
So what I was going to say is I really, really liked because they went first. And I didn't think that they were going to go first, to be honest. But they set the bar really high with their thing, with their discussion.
Proportionalize it.
Yeah, the proportionize was what I thought was really good. Like, yeah, they were annoyed by it in the workroom. They're like, oh, this stupid word. I kept on hearing them say it over and over again. But stuff like that is stuff that people remember. You see infomercial, you're like, oh, super size or super slim size or whatever. Like, they have like a buzzword that people get in their ear that they're going to remember, that they can be like, oh, what? Proportionize. Right. Let's get this cinched. Da, 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 da. Like, they're
because that's what the whole point was. It wasn't about like body, like, oh, how to get bigger tits. It was how to proportionalize your body into drag, which taught a lot of people about, like, Cameron is a muscle queen. Like, how do you get such a muscly body, masculine body, and make that feminine using that? And he goes off of like superheroes and how they see that superhero like hourglass little figure with that little waist. And then how do you make someone like Eureka actually a curvaceous, like, beautiful woman as opposed to a man body that is overweight? I don't know. That was really cool. And I loved how, like, talking about Monet with like stapling the tights together and using that to like lift up. I'm like, that's cool. That's what, like, people want to know that.
Exactly.
And then it goes into the makeup tutorial, and that one was pretty good. Like, I was actually pretty proud of them too. Monique's a really good moderator. It just it wasn't as great as the other ones, but it was still good. It was still good. Like, Asia O'Hara, she could speak, and they knew what they were talking about. And Aquaria makes me like Aquaria a little bit more too.
I do, and I actually really like Aquaria. She's just really young and is trying to a little bit be a little more adult than she actually is. That's what I kind of think. I think she's a little more of a kid, and she's just trying to be like play with big kids a little bit. So I felt bad though, because RuPaul points out, even though I guess it was in the workroom, that Monet was in the bottom. It was like, she's just like,
yeah, don't pay attention to that.
Pardon me?
Hey, you were addicted to eating your hip pads, and you weren't even eating hip pads. So what's up with that?
Yikes.
Do I have something on my face?
Like eggplant. So also though, the audience is going to be rating who is their favorite queen, which I thought was interesting. And beforehand, like in the workroom, this is kind of relates to what I was saying about Aquaria before, was like Aquaria, they were worried about her because she just isn't able to speak on the fly, and she isn't able to articulate what she wants to say. And it just was like, I was really worried for Aquaria because, like, you know, it's a speaking challenge, and if she can't do that, like, and be funny, like, it's not good. It ain't good.
No, but it's one of those things where you don't have to be funny as long as you are informative and you can like joke around a little bit. Then be comfortable. Then it's okay, because then you see what happens in the other group. That is just it's hard to watch.
Before we talk about that group, though, how did you feel about the Monet talking about being raised by her aunt and uncle, and how you know, she did that Miss Gay Caribbean competition where she ends up being the winner, and or no, Miss Gay or Miss Drag, you know, Miss Gay Caribbean, yeah. And so it was in, I'm assuming, New York, and then there was a small newspaper, and it was sent back to her parents in St. Lucia, and the Caribbean islands right now aren't as open, we'll say, to homosexuality as, you know, North America is, or any of the you know, the bordering countries or states and stuff. And so it got back to his mother. That's hard.
It is hard. It is hard, but like, if you're that good, like, then Monet even said, she goes, "Of course I was gonna win. I was gonna win. I was awesome. I was gonna win." So it just, and you're in New York, and you know, the community is not a very big community in most times, and like, most people recognize you for being who you are. You know, there's also probably another closeted homosexual that's in those islands, and they probably follow that person. So Facebook has been around for 11 years now. People follow other people, whether it's just that one person that like posts something, it's gonna get back. So that's the one thing. Like, you gotta be, yes, you can be honest with yourself, but like, you gotta really know that if you're gonna get into this industry of being in reality TV, being in social media, something you're gonna do is gonna come out. Especially when it's in such a public forum.
I guess in his defense, like Miss Gay Caribbean, it doesn't seem like it's gonna have that much traction to get all the way to St. Lucia, to be fair.
You don't think that it's going to, even though it's in the Caribbean?
No, it was in New York. It wasn't in the Caribbean. It was just.
I know, but if it's Miss Gay Caribbean, it's going to go to the Caribbean at some point. And some lady who is just right there, oh, Miss Gay Caribbean. Oh my God, that's Florence's son. I don't know, like it's going to come back.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily think it would come back, to be fair, because like a lot of stuff goes on here that they doesn't have. I was actually in St. Lucia on the weekend, and I can imagine that. Like nothing gets over there. Like, it's like a very small, it's not third world, but it's like it's very
sheltered. It's very
Exactly.
clear.
There's
Yeah,
not, you don't get that much outside influence. Like you don't, it's there, obviously. There is television, there is newspapers and whatnot. It just seems like from what I've seen of the island and islands in general, that like, wow, from it coming to New York, it's probably like a tiny little competition where like maybe 500 people in New York know about it. To get all the way to St. Lucia, I can understand how he would maybe be surprised, but I think like it's also probably a good way, as you were saying before, for the fact that he won, like to see it in a positive light for him to be outed.
Yeah.
Super cool. We get Monique saying that Monique is the MacGyver of drag, and she's like, I came to this competition with glitter and Jesus. And I'm like, lots of good sound bites from these queens this season.
There is. There's a lot of good memes coming out of this.
And obviously, to transition it, we get a nice Van G montage.
Oh God, and like Ru is dying. Like Ru is loving the Miss Vanjie thing too. Like just loving it.
And I like that she's loving it before she knows that it's even a hit in the outside world, you know?
Right?
Yeah. So we already talked about Team Body. And so I like the fact, with the proportionize, and like even when the audience say it together, proportionize, and I'm like, that was really smart to get the audience involved and remembering the words.
I'm like, Monet's not going anywhere this week.
Nope. Did I even write anything about anybody else? Paint for filth. I guess that was, yeah, I thought Asia looked really, really pretty. I wrote in quotations, fuck everyone else. Who said that? Oh, it was
Aquarius.
And I don't know if it was just like the cut, but I didn't think it was that bad. Like,
no, it was a shitty cut for like for going into commercial because they wanted to tease with the audience. But then when she actually says it, like that's what they do on the show. They like edit it so that we're like, oh, what the hell's gonna happen? But it's not like, it's never the case. It's like what Aquaria actually says is like, like fuck everybody else. They be at home and do your makeup and fuck everybody else. Do it makes you feel like happy or sexy or whatever. And I actually liked what Monique said was like, my friend was like, here's some makeup, stop jerking off all night and use some makeup and like do that. And she goes, I never went back. And Aquaria and Asia's like, well, you can do it at the same time. It's okay.
What I did like though about this group was the fact that like Asia started doing like the putting on the eyelash, and then Aquarius started talking while she was doing like her demo kind of thing, and then they kind of just kept on talking over each other back and forth. And if they had practiced it a little bit better, then I think it could have worked. But it just seemed like they were each trying to steal the spotlight from each other. So if it was like, okay, like I'm gonna put this on, and while I finish this, like Aquarius is gonna give us a little da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like instead of it just seeming like they were chasing the spotlight.
Yeah, I just felt like it was just. I didn't feel like they were like actually stealing the spotlight from each other. I felt it was just like they should have just focused on one and then the other and then the one and then going back and forth, because it even shows in the editing the audience is going, like where do I look? Because at the same time you're talking about like your eye, you're talking about your lip. And this one's putting on, I have no idea how to put on fake eyelashes. I can put something on my lips, sure. But like I want to actually pay attention to this. I don't want to be distracted by Aquaria over here. Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was okay. I didn't feel like they were stealing each other.
I was just kind of talking over each other, and I thought that like it seemed like Aquaria jumped in because she didn't want to have dead air, and I don't think she realized that it actually was kind of captivating to watch someone put on some fake lashes. Like you're gonna watch that stuff. The next, that's all I wrote down for that group. Do you have anything else to say for them?
I have nothing else. No.
Me neither. The next one is Wigs Anonymous. Wig woes into wig wows. That's what and they're all wigaholics. Wig puns here. What I wrote down about this group was there was lots of shade that was not landing at all. It wasn't landing. Like they're just being mean to each other, and it wasn't making me laugh. And they each weren't playing off of it in a way that was good or responsive.
It was like they weren't being realistic. They weren't like, they were putting on a shtick that the three of them couldn't work it out. And like, has anybody in here thought about wearing a wig? Like, what? Obviously, they're sitting in a wig tutorial, or else they wouldn't be there sitting about a wig. But like, they didn't go into their history. Each one of the other people went into the history of why they wear wigs or how they wear wigs and what kind of wigs they liked. They could have shown that, they could have edited that out, but all it was that like Blair would say something and then Cracker would say something horrible, and then it was like there's a lot of fuck said and a lot of like there's times where you can like throw a swear word here and there, but like when it's a tutorial and there's a bunch of people, you don't know who's in the audience, so watch your mouth.
Yep, for sure. But I like to, you get a wig and you get a wig and you get a wig. That'll never get old. Oprah,
oh, for sure. Like learning about the wig stuff, like they did a pretty good job, but compared to the other ones, no.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that Blair had taken control, because I think he says that in the workroom that he's anal OCD. So I wish that he kind of took control and like did his whole Southern Belle thing and acted as a moderator for the whole thing, because
yeah, but you can't moderate the Cracker and the Vixen at all.
Well, I mean, at least try, because I think that if she was acting as the moderator and they were acting out of turn, it would have looked bad upon them if she was named the moderator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there needed to be some like focus and some, this is what we're talking about next. This, someone that just like organized how it was going. It was just kind of free for all, and it was just a mess. I thought.
Mess.
When did we hear? Oh no, we heard it. Never mind. So after that, we get to the main stage challenge, and it was Hats Incredible. So I kind of wrote down each person's look. So we got Cameron. She has kind of this space head piece, which I thought was really cool because it like movement and it moved around, and like I thought it was cool.
It was cool, like a little urban hat.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It was very like. And as she moved around, it constantly moved. So I'm like, I really enjoyed that hat.
Me too. Monet had this church hat with kind of geometric shapes all over it. I like that look as well. I still think that Monique needs to go for more of a glamorous look as opposed to like the everyday queen. She's very, church queen. But I want her to be a little bit more va-va-voo.
But it worked well for the whole. It worked well for the whole outfit because it was very. It was the same pattern, which is nice.
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool. Like I'm not totally downing it, but I'm just saying like with her makeup and like the entire look itself and what she's put up like to show up to now. Like, I feel as though she needs to step up her glamour a little bit more for her to be a little more wow. She's just everyday girl.
Then next was Eureka.
Mm-hmm.
Dressed very First Wives Club.
Yes. Gingham hat and body fat.
I'm liking Eureka right now.
Yeah, I'm on team right now.
For now. And then out comes Aquaria with that friggin' top hat and that ear like a bunny. I love it.
Loved it. See, this is why I like Aquaria, because she does things that it's kind of like Milk. I know you're not the biggest fan of Milk's personality, but like he always did something a little bit different, whether it worked out or not. Like I'm always curious as to how Milk or Aquaria's interpretation of the challenge is, and I like that interpretation. She's smart.
Yeah.
She's Aquarius, like me, innovative, new ideas.
Next, and then out comes Monique Hart looking like dollar store realness.
That was the cellophane? Yeah. It looks like on my thing about cell phone. I'm like, no, it's cellophane with the dots all over it. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
It's not the greatest.
I loved Asia's. I thought it was so cute.
Which one was, what
He was
was
the dandelion.
Oh my God, IKEA lamp right there. IKEA lamp realness.
No,
Looks
it's
so
a
good.
dandelion wish.
What's that?
It's a dandelion wish.
I know, but it's also like there's these lamps at IKEA that expand like globes. No, I love it. I think it looks super cute, but it also I've seen that in IKEA magazines as well.
It's a wish.
I love it.
I thought it was really cute and a cute little idea, and like I haven't seen that yet, so I was like, nah, you're good. I like you, Asia. And then Miss Cracker, not really, I don't care, but she came out like in her big My Fair Lady hair hat. Yes,
it's a hair hat.
Hmm?
It's a hair hat.
Cool.
Cool, yeah.
But I didn't care. I didn't care for that hair.
No.
Blair, I thought she looked really good with her like white Kentucky Derby kind of hat.
I love Blair St. Clair. Like Blair St. Clair got a bad. I was like, it just was really sad this episode.
She's so pretty. Like she's such a pretty queen. And then the Vixen, I thought her look was pretty good. It was like, a little more creative. It was a black and white beach hat with the beach hat dress, which I thought was interesting. It kind of reminded me of some of those unconventional challenges. So I like that she stepped out of her comfort zone or whatever. But she's actually in her comfort zone to a certain extent too, because she likes crafty things. But it was more polished than she usually looks. So
yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. It was very from the back. I'm looking at the back angle of it. No, it's not the greatest, but it's still like it's not worthy of bottom. It's not worthy of the bottom. But then they get to the main stage and they say who is safe, which is Cameron.
No, they're in the top.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So
the
Cameron,
top three are Cameron, Monet, and Eureka.
Yes.
And apparently the audience considered Eureka to be their favorite. And I think the judges even was like, you're going to have to say proportionate. Like even the judges were kind of in on the joke and in on the word and like bringing it back. And I thought that was really indicative of how well they did and how well she did with the challenge. Because I think it was even her idea to have that word.
Yep.
So on the bottom, I guess, was Ms. Cracker, Blair, and the Vixen. Okay, yeah, it was the whole team.
Yeah, so it was Cracker, the Vixen, and Blair.
Oh yeah, would you tell me these points?
So it's oh god. All right, so if Blair's at the bottom and Ms. Cracker's at the bottom, that's -20. But my Eureka is.
You know, there was only -5 for bottom looks, darling.
Oh, okay, nice. Very good.
Okay, so sorry, let me just see. The top looks was Eureka. That's you.
Yes.
This is +5. Who the other two? Who won again? Monet, that's me.
Monet and Cameron.
Cameron's me. And then bottom looks are, you had Ms. Cracker. Bottom look. I have the Vixen.
The Vixen, yeah.
And you had Blair. You get 15. We'll just might as well put it down now for the Eureka winning the main challenge.
Yeah.
There was some tears. Who cried? Someone cried. Oh,
Blair.
Are you giving? Do you want points for that cry, or are you losing points?
I think I get points for that cry because that's a cry.
Okay. So you're gonna get a +10. Jesus, you still racked up some points here.
I racked up some points, but I also lost 10 points for bottom looks.
True. And then we'll see. Okay, so we'll just keep on going. The winner pick.
Okay.
Okay.
So then they go to so they start doing the going through all the critiques and stuff, and they basically say to Cracker, they're like, "Hey, Cracker, you were funny, but you weren't that funny, and it was borderline not funny at all." And I even watched the Untucked, and they were just like, "You're funny when it's you, but you're not funny whenever it's in a group setting." And that's what Eureka says to her in the Untucked episode as well. And Cracker's like, "I know, how am I going to do this?" So basically you see Blair and Cracker lip syncing and practicing, and the Vixen thinks that she's not going to be in the bottom at all. She's not even practicing.
No bueno. But I also that it shows Blair when she's talking with the judges. She talks about the fact that he was raped when he was younger, and that he always had to kind of put on a brave face and always be smiling and always be happy, and that's kind of where the personality of Blair St. Clair kind of is that she's always looking on the bright side of things. But I think this kind of comes up to what we were talking about last week with Blair, which is the fact that she hasn't actually matured yet and hasn't actually healed fully from what she experienced when she was younger, and allow it to be a catalyst as opposed to something that's holding her back, because right now her putting on that smiling veneer is not actually allowing her to be real and seeing what her drag really is and what it really stands for. Right now it's a mask, but eventually I think it will become her heart, her story, her truth, and so I think that that's why she ended up leaving now, is that she wasn't most likely going to step out of this veneer of Blair St. Clair because she hasn't grown yet there, I think.
Yeah.
So our safe queens were Aquaria, Asia, and Monique, but Asia got a nice little props from RuPaul. RuPaul liked that, so.
Of course. Well, that hat is amazing.
It's so cute. I loved it. So, Eureka wins two times in a row. First queen this season to win twice in a row. We should put that as points, but I'm not giving you anything else, so too bad.
That's okay.
We saw a little bit of a softer side of the Vixen, which was really interesting when they were up on the stage. How she kind of was quite kind to Blair, and how she interacted with Blair on the main stage I was like, oh, Vixen, you're not this horrible, venomous person. You actually can be quite kind and charming. So I was happy to see that. It made me hate her less.
Well, it's because the Vixen and Blair actually are they're pretty good friends on the show, because Blair doesn't make it all about her. The reason why the Vixen doesn't like Aquaria and Eureka so much is because those ones are always so loud and abrasive, or they're not genuine. Blair's genuine. Cracker's genuine. That's why the Vixen's not coming after these other people for not being a genuine person. That's where I see it, because
I hate the fact that she's the genuine police. Get out of here.
True, get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
I mean, you're on my team, so stay. But seriously, do I get points for the Vixen crying? Because it says thank you for believing in me when she gets after she wins the lip sync.
I think, well, you already get points for her surviving the lip sync. I don't think she gets points for surviving and crying after the lip sync.
But the surviving lip sync is only 5 points. The crying is 10.
Okay, then how about you just get an extra 5?
So 10 in total?
10 in total.
Fine. So yeah, as we said.
Don't say I don't give you any points.
What?
Don't say I don't give you any points.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair though, because she did cry.
Oh, it is. It's she did have a breakdown, so.
So what do they have to sing to? Did I not write that down?
It's a song that I really, well, do I know that song? I don't know. Hold on, let me just check really quick what it is.
I don't remember. I didn't write it down. But Blair, I thought was really sweet in her little, like, you know, her lip sync, but the vixen, she was really annoying and really like kind of like like doing everything she could possibly do. Like she was a little bit crazy.
I'm coming out. It's great. But like, of course, like Vixen is gonna like twirl the shit out of this, and she also pretending that she's playing like a saxophone. Oh, Ross Matthews.
Like Blair should have done like a crazy capsule.
Oh shit! Oh shit! It was like it's like the Vixen's a cartoon character.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely wanted it more than Blair, but she looked psychotic.
Whoo! It was like whoo, like twist, 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 twist,
So
just drop, and it was like it was as if she was on a trampoline.
There's no finesse in her movements. It's very, very choppy.
So it was ruined for me at work because they were like, well, you know that Blair St. Clair has a DUI, right? And then she had to be in court the next day anyway, so that's why she was going to get kicked off regardless. And I was like, what are you talking about? Stop it. Apparently Blair St. Clair had some DUI, and if she does, I'm sorry if I have misconstruing my facts, but this is what the audience has been telling me. So I was kind of told ahead of time that Blair St. Clair was going home this episode, and they ruined it for me, but she went home and I was devastated. So I've lost another person. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Oh, declaration of independence from the past is what her final words are. And then I do declare I'm the Blair St. Clair and I'm coming out.
Oh. Sweet.
But next week is Snatch Game!
So who did I see is doing what on Snatch Game?
Didn't I see one of them? Somebody's doing Maya Angelou. Oh God! Why?
Yeah, someone's doing Maya Angelou. Someone is doing, I believe, someone's doing Suzanne Summers.
That's good. That better be Cracker.
No, it's Cameron.
Oh, I mean,
I can't remember who everyone's doing, but like there were some people that I was like, really, you're gonna do? Oh, Aquarius doing Melania Trump.
That's very good.
Yeah, Aquarius doing that. So apparently some of them get some really good, really good critiques. And Judge of the Week is Bianca Del Rio.
Ooh, good. Judging funny.
And it's like not even like a guest judge, it's like a judge. It's like instead of Michelle Visage, it's Bianca Del Rio.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm so excited because like Snatch Game is obviously my favorite.
Oh wait, I take that back. I don't know. I just saw the judges and that was Michelle Visage. So I don't know what's happening anymore, everybody. But thank you for tuning in.
I got 135 points and Mike is at 125. So even
That's
though
not bad.
He's losing people are dropping like flies from his team, he's still.
I got 2 left. I got 2 people left, and it's not Aquaria. It's Cracker and Eureka.
Good too.
And that's not bad. And they're rumored to be like, go on. So.
That's what I was saying last week that I have only a couple people that will really, it's going to be like Asia and Aquaria. They're going to go against your 2,
Asia and Aquaria, huh? Those are your 2, that's your 2 people?
So.
Yeah?
It really, I'll have to give like a real opinion after Snatch Game because I need to see who's actually funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out. So this week, Chantele and I will be going to the live eviction of Big Brother Canada with 5 people left. Is it going to be a bloodbath? No, it won't be. Pretty sure we know who's going to go home. But we're going to go see that. And then afterwards, we might go watch Drag Race at my work. and we'll figure that out. But happy Snatch Game, everybody, coming up this week. You can find us at Reality Realness with 3 S's on Instagram. You can find me, Michael Pez.
Or me at ShanFranFran on Instagram. So press this little button right here and subscribe. Share this with your friends, your family, your coworkers, anybody who wants to listen to us chat about Drag Race. And yeah, leave your comments and yeah, subscribe. Like us.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.